Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start recording. So thanks for getting on. This is 3 o'clock's kind of a weird time, and usually my kids are napping, but obviously that's not happening today. So we're gonna roll with it and make the best of the situation. But this is truly, I don't do it just because I want to show you that this is what being a mom boss is really about. This just happened. But this is what it is being about. It's learning how to work on the fly, because sometimes life isn't predictable, especially when you have small kids. And I think that more people need to understand that. And when you're talking to people about whatever you're doing, it needs to be something that they kind of get to. So they're not going, well, I have kids, I can't do this. No, girl, trust me, I got kids. You're going to be fine. You're going to be great. You're going to be awesome. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to open. I did a little slideshow for you ladies. I got to find it first. Here it is. And I'll show you my tips and tricks for doing slideshow, because this literally took me 20 minutes to pull up, and it's super easy. So today we're going to kind of talk about getting out of your comfort zone and overcoming those obstacles, because the biggest obstacle we have is ourself. The thing that 90% of us struggle with most is our own mind. And the things that we think about ourselves, the things we say about ourselves, how we feel about what we're doing. And a lot of times, it's how we think or feel that keeps us from moving forward. Not necessarily what other people think, but what we think about ourselves and how that holds us back. Okay, so this is called the Jezebel Effect. So one of the personal development books, and I think we'll talk about personal development tomorrow, but one of the personal development books I listen to on Audible is called Crash the Chatterbox by Stephen Furtick. I love Stephen Furtick. I have followed him for several years. He's a preacher. But he just gets to the heart of everything. And the Jezebel Effect is, as soon as you ask for something and it happens, then your obstacles start coming. People start hating on you. People start asking you questions you don't know the answer to, and then going, how can you possibly run a business if you don't know the answers? And it causes you to back down because you're afraid. Instead of facing that and saying, you know what? I know exactly what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I know what my purpose is. I don't know the answer, but I'm going to find it out. Instead of fighting it with that, we say, oh my gosh, you're so right. And we kind of clam up. I know this personally because it's what I do. So how do you overcome that? Give yourself some grace. You don't have to know everything to run a business from home. I don't have a degree in business. I definitely don't have a background in social media. I don't have a huge following, but what I have is a passion to continue to learn. What I have is a passion to teach other people what I'm learning, because when you teach someone something else, it becomes crystal clear in your own mind, and that's when it becomes easier to apply the things you talk about. So maybe you're brand new to this and starting this business, and you're like, oh, okay, so starting a team, that's really intimidating. It is, but you find 2 people that you really get along with, that get you, and then you share what you're learning, and together you grow. That's how it starts. That's how all big teams start. They start with 2 or 3 people that come together on a like-minded mission, and you go at it together, and you share what's happening in your life, you share what's happening in your business, and how you're overcoming that together. Remove yourself from the opinions of others. Everyone else's opinion is none of your business. It's not your business what they think about you. It has nothing to do with you. 90% of the time, it has to do with something that they think about themselves, where they're at in life, and where they wish they could be. This happens personally in the fitness world. You'll see people comparing themselves all the time, or putting people down on Instagram. I see it so much. And it's like, why do you get to have a say in what I do, think, or feel with my own body and my life? Why does that matter? Like, why do you get to have an opinion on that? Because truthfully, it has nothing to do with me. When people hate on you, a lot of times it has to do with them. Hold on. Elmo's got to go. There you go. Because if you want to play Elmo loud, go in my room. Keep your goals in sight. This is something that I am just learning that has changed so much for me. So we just moved from Texas to North Dakota, and one of the hardest things is leaving my office behind. So we went from a 2,500 square foot house to a maybe 1,200 square foot apartment. I have no office. I have nothing to myself. My bedroom is not big enough to hold office supplies. So I was like, you know what? I got to figure this out. So my kitchen island is actually full of all of my work stuff, all of my shirt business, my laptop, all my papers, documents. And then I bought myself one of those big desk calendars, and I hung it on the wall, and I got myself a bulletin board. And on the bulletin board, I made like a vision board of the things that I'm working towards and the things that I'm trying to achieve. And on my calendar, I write down everything that might possibly happen, when I'm going to start things, when I'm going to finish things, when I'm going to invite to new things, how I need to follow up, what my goals are, and then little scriptures to encourage myself, little quotes to encourage myself. And I look at that every day when I drink my coffee, wash bottles, check the printer, all of it. I look at it several times a day. And I encourage you, if you don't have one of those or have something like that, create a space that's just for you. Make a small wall or your refrigerator or something that you look at constantly. And I take Post-it notes and I will move them around the house. I did it at our big house and it drove Zach nuts because they were all over our bathroom mirror, because I'm in the bathroom like running away from my children all the time. But anytime where you frequent your house, take some Post-it notes and write something encouraging to yourself and stick it on there. That way when you look at it, that way when you look at it, you remember exactly what you were talking about, what you wanted to say to yourself, and how you wanted to get through the day and your goal in sight. Focus. This is the number one thing people struggle with at home, because just like taking an online class, it's your choice. You have to choose to show up. You have to choose to do the work. You have to choose to do the hard stuff when you don't feel like it. Tiffany, I know, does not feel good today, and yet here she is. When you don't want to show up because you have kids and they're acting crazy, show up. Remove your distractions. Now, this includes children most of the time, but sometimes you can't help that. So you got to work around it. Distractions I'm talking about are your cell phone. This is the biggest distractor. Mine lights up every time I pick it up. It turns on. So I turn that on silent and I'll put it in my bedroom or somewhere else for the entire hour or however long I'm working. And then when I'm done, I'll go back and be like, oh, hey, sorry guys, I was working. If I missed a call, return the call. You can always return the call, and if something urgent happens, an hour of your day is not going to make it any better or any worse. So that's my tip. Turn your phone off, put it away, turn off the TV if you can. If music distracts you, turn off the music. Hey, stop talking. Stop talking.
No, I'm just
if your children are distracting you, try to walk into another room, set them up with something to play with. Like Reese right now is coloring, but she's an active colorer, so she likes to talk while she colors. She is her mother. Find all of the distractions, the things that you would do other than actual work, and remove those. And last importantly, bring your hustle to the table when it's time to sit down and work.
Yeah.
So give yourself some grace. Your day is not like anyone else's. It doesn't matter who you follow, how successful they are, where they started, yada, yada, yada. Doesn't matter, because they are not you. People did not come to you to follow someone else. They came to you because of you. And your day is your day. When you get up in the morning, doesn't matter how it starts, you have to own it. If your day starts like mine did this morning, then you have to take a second, have a pity party, take a moment to yourself, say, you know what, this is not how I wanted my day to start. Have a pity party, drink your coffee, get up and say, you know what, I have too much to do today to sit here and wallow in self-pity. So this is my to-do list. This is what I got to get done. And as you start working through that and choosing to move forward versus sitting on your couch and going, oh, I hate today, it's terrible, it will change. Your mindset will change. Your attitude will change. Your energy will change. Set your window of work time. So this looks different for me just about every day, just depending on naps. Like yesterday was super terrible with nap time. So I just kind of had to work in the cracks. I didn't have a choice. I had to work while they were awake. It just happens sometimes. But next week restarts school, and she'll be in school from 8:30 to 11:30 every single day. So I know as soon as I drop her off, I come home, I sit down, put my head down and work. My end time will probably be about 11 o'clock because that's the time that I have to go pick her up. So set yourself a starting time and a quit time. And I will send you all this slideshow. When you sit down to work, be confident in what you're doing. So this is, y'all might have heard the song that I had on Beyonce. I listened to something that inspires me to get up and moving. A lot of times it's Motown music because I like Motown. I think it's just fun. Reese. I have my jams that I listen to when I get started. Something that just gets me up, gets me going, makes me happy, lifts my mood. Because a lot of times I've been fighting toddlers before I'm going to sit down to work, so I'm a little stressed out, not exactly so in the work mood. So turn on some music, turn on some personal development, whatever gets you going, and then do your little dance, sit down, and have your list of what you have to do. I don't know about other MLMs, but I know that we have what's called a power hour. So within that power hour, you have so many people that you're messaging new to invite to whatever you're doing. So a coaching opportunity is what we like to call when we invite people to the business. We'll pick a night, and usually it starts at about 9 o'clock after our kids have gone to sleep. And we'll just kind of tell them about coaching. We'll share our stories, give them the time to ask questions, etc. Other times it's inviting them to our accountability group. So what we do as coaches is help them get started with their health and fitness journey. Find them, well, now we don't really have to find specific programs because we have what's known as on demand. So you basically get access to every workout, calendar, nutrition plan that's ever been offered by Beachbody. So you get them plugged into your accountability group with their workout, with their Shakeology. How do you mix it? How do you take it? What's your favorite flavor? You get to know them, plug them in. So if I'm inviting to that, I might have been having conversations with people. I'll follow up with them. I'll invite new people. I will add people to my network. So I've been trying to primarily work off of Instagram just because to me, it's a little bit more detached than Facebook is. Facebook is a lot of my warm market people. So people I went to high school with, people I went to college with, my family, people that kind of intimidate me and make it a little bit harder for me to do what I do just because they're like, oh, I went to high school with you. No, thanks, So I go to Instagram where people find me because they've searched hashtags that they have in common with me. People, follow my Insta stories. That's a good way to find people. So your to-do list is basically whatever your company has to do. Ours is the power hour. So prioritize your day based on what will move you forward. So I really like doing graphics. In my tank top company, I create graphics all day long. I love it. It's fun. I like doing slideshows. I like doing coach shout outs or challengers of the week, stuff like that. I don't necessarily love to message people because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to be like, hey, I noticed you're creeping me. What you doing? How's life? Is this something you'd be interested in? And no, that's not really what I say when I message people. But that's the gist of it, pretty much. That's uncomfortable. So you have to prioritize it based on the things that are going to move you forward. Messaging people, getting to know people is what moves you forward. Unfortunately, playing is not. So your goals. I kind of talked about this with my coaches just recently, but your goals have to be crystal clear. So maybe it's an income. Mine, Reese, sit down. Mine is an income and helping, it's an income. Based on that income, it means that I've been successful helping my coaches be successful. I've been successful helping people get started and then making that transition to help other people. That's ultimately what I want. So maybe yours is an income. Maybe yours is rank or having so many people on your team. In order to have an income goal, so I have a specific income goal, you have to reverse engineer that. How many coaches do I need each month to get myself to that standard income goal? And then from there, where do we go? So we have reoccurring commissions, and every time someone makes a sale or gets their Shakeology, you get commissions off of that. It all starts like that, but in order to grow, you have to have a team that's growing underneath you. So as you notice, my December goal, have 10 new coaches that month and 5 moving their business forward, which means 5 of them are taking this seriously and are working towards building their own team. That means I'm doing my job as a leader and I'm helping them achieve that. And together as a team, we are growing. And then in March, 10 new coaches a month, and you can see that's pretty consistent. And then 10 new coaches growing their own teams. In order to thrive in any MLM, just about, you have to have people underneath you that have the same vision, that have the same passion, that are working towards their goals, and you're growing together. It has to be a together thing. My income can't be a sole reflector of me because it'll take me 10 times as long to get there. And not only that, it's lonely. It's lonely to try to do it by yourself. So you want to find people that get you, that you can build this with. So keep your goal in the forefront of your mind and then reverse engineer it to whatever it means. Focus. Be present. this is the hardest thing. When you are with your children or with your spouse or with your friends or with your family, put your phone down. Put your phone down, put your social media down. Nobody needs to know what you're doing every single minute of the day. Now, of course, with Insta stories and things like that, you do have to share your life, but you don't have to have your phone out all of the time. And what I can tell you is that through doing this stuff, it makes you feel like you've been busy all day, but really you've just been playing. Hold on, she's gonna get mad. Okay, we got the rocker in full effect. We're ready. So things that distract you. Insta stories are my biggest distractor because they're so much fun. I love including people in on the antics of my toddler, what's working for me, what I'm doing throughout the day, because I think it helps me feel like people are getting to know me. Facebook isn't really the place for that, but it's somewhere where I can be like, hey, you know, I'm actually doing stuff. So you have to be present in what you're doing. And I'm big about carrying my phone around and checking my notifications and sending back emails on the fly. And I'm going to discourage you from doing that, because when you send messages back on the fly, one, you're not tracking it. Two, you're not giving them your full attention. So say someone just poured out their heart to you and it's just really long in depth. Well, you're wrangling kids and trying to fix dinner and open the message. And what that tells them is that you don't really care about what they have to say. And as we know, in this business, it's about people. It's about how we serve them. And in order to serve them, you have to sit down and you have to see what they're saying. If they have an objection, you have to be able to meet that, because you need to know what's behind that. So I always ask people, okay, well, what's going on? You know, why do you feel like you can't do this? Or why, you know, you got to get to the heart of that. And I can't do that if I'm distracted with other things. So I have to make my time intentional. When I sit down to message, it has to be intentional. I have like 20-something messages in my Facebook inbox because I haven't had time to sit down today and be intentional with that. And I'm not about to open up messages that I can't answer. Even if it's a birthday message. People were sending me messages all day saying happy birthday, which I loved. But I wanted to be sure that I could sit down and say thank you for that. I have yet to get through all the ones on my my wall. My fear is not that I wouldn't succeed, but that I would succeed at things that don't matter. I don't want to be successful if that means I'm doing it by myself. If I'm not growing a team that is changing their lives and changing the lives of others, I don't want success like that. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. So you need to know that going into this. What is it that you're about? What is it that you want so desperately that you're willing to sacrifice time and energy and sleep to get it? And whatever it is, be present when you seek it. Distractions. So this is just some of mine that I could think off the top of my head. Turn off your notifications. Your what do you call them? The little ribbons that pop up. So I have like a Snapchat. That's really the only one that I keep on there. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter. I don't have Twitter. I don't know if YouTube sends them. Email's a big one. Any kind of dings or lights that flash or anything, turn those off, because if baby crying, you can't turn that off. Where'd your cat go? There you go. Any kind of anything that's going to distract you from what you're doing. Put your phone on silent. We already talked about this. Put it away. Only have 5 windows open at a time. So this is a big one for me because I like to quote unquote multitask. So I'll have a lot of windows open on my desktop. So I might have like how I created this through canva.com or PicMonkey, which is the other one that I edit through. I might have Facebook. I might have Facebook Messenger. I might have Instagram. I might have, like, the list goes on and on. A lot of times it's like different bills that I need to pay. Like, I'll have those open while I'm working. Set your timer. This has been a godsend for me because, as you can tell, there's lots of distractions in my life. Setting a timer that goes off that says, okay, you have 25 minutes to message new people. When that goes off, you move to something else. Same thing with following up with people, adding new people, growing your network, checking into my team page, checking into my groups. When that timer goes off, I have to move on. And I do the same thing not only with coaching and with my shirt business, but I do the same thing in my daily life. So laundry, cleaning, dishes, all of that stuff. Anything that I have to get done, I time myself. So I say, okay, I have this much time. That way I'm not wasting time because I'm literally working against the clock. As I showed y'all yesterday, when I was kind of walking y'all through my day, when I sit down to work, I make sure that I have everything that I need, because if I have to get up, it's more than likely I'm chasing squirrels, and it's going to take me at least 20 minutes to sit back down and get back to what I'm doing. If something happens in your day that while you're working, so maybe your kids are in school, and I'm just using kids because I have kids. It could be anything, but say your kids are in school and you get a phone call that they're sick. Be okay with setting things down and walking away. That is why you work a business from home, not so that you are a slave like you are at a 9-to-5 job. That's something that's taken me a really, really long time to learn. Encouragement. So find that thing. I'm a words person. I'm also a very scripturally based person. I love scripture. Finding that just helps me so much to have something to cling to and look forward to. Find your word. Find your safe place. So when you're feeling discouraged, you turn to that and you're like, this is it. This is it. This is actually what I send my assistant when I'm having a rough day. It's like our code word for, hey, Katie's off track, some SOS, send help. And she'll send me a message, we'll talk, she'll help me kind of refocus, trying to get me back on track with what I need to do. I hired her mainly for my shirt business, but she helps in all aspects of my life. If I didn't have her, I would basically just be crazy. But have your word of encouragement or your graphic or something that as soon as you look at it, you go, okay, I'm all right, I can do this. I can step away, get a drink of water, come back. Your ego is not your amigo. We kind of talked about this earlier. What people think of you is none of your business. So don't get caught in the mind game of thinking for other people. Stop answering for them when you send a message if what you have for them is right. They've liked your stuff. They've commented on your stuff. They have given you a free pass to say, hey, girl, you know, I hope you're having a great day, however you form that message. This is what I have loved. This is what has worked for me. Thank you so much for liking and commenting on my post. It really means a lot. And then you just get down. And then you just go into it. Multitasking, not a real thing. So I'm saying be 100% present. From somebody that's done this business for 2 years and has tried to multitask her way to the top, it has not worked. Perfection, not a real thing. So this may look all perfect and cute. This is what do you call it? Template. It's a template. All I did was change the words. That's it. I did not throw this together on my own because I may be cutesy and graphic, but it's not my jam. So I go to sources that give me what I need. Canva, PicMonkey, those are the big ones. And I use YouTube to figure out how to work those. YouTube, godsend. You can learn just about anything on YouTube. Detach yourself from the outcome. So this is where people stall out the most. Thinking about what other people think about them before they send a message to invite or just to get to know someone, that's even hard. Especially if you're like, oh, they probably think I'm super spammy because they know that I'm a Beachbody coach. They probably, you know, like I do that in my head a lot. So detach yourself from the outcome. I'm not looking for a sell when I send someone a message. I am saying, hey, thanks for liking and loving my post. You cannot imagine how great that makes me feel to know that I have your support on whatever I'm doing. Maybe it's a video that I did that was a little bit harder for me to share because it was vulnerable. Maybe it was my toddler, which I'll share a video about that later. She got lotion all over her face today because she was trying to be soft. But whatever it is, you know, you have the opportunity to send them a thank you. Thank you for liking things. Thanks for giving me some love and some feedback, and just have a conversation. You are a boss. Own it. Stop thinking about what people expect from you. So this is where I get stuck too. Thinking about what people expect from me. So I have like 15 groups that I run on Facebook. And there was a time in my life where being present in those groups every single day is what ran me. Because I felt like I needed to cater to everyone, and I needed to have an answer for everything that they had. I needed to give them the best recipes, the best whatever. And as I have grown, I have realized I don't have time for that. So I have to be selective about my time. And I keep these groups open because one week out of the month, I'll run these groups. My current one is my mom group, where I share different ways that I am parenting my toddler that have worked, or different recipes that we use in our family, different things like that, that help me to help them. It's just simply a group where moms can go and share what's going on in their life, and get plugged in with other moms. Nothing crazy. I don't talk about Beachbody in there, unless Reese is involved in it, just because she's so good. But what you have to think about is, what do you expect from yourself? Knowing what your goal is and what you want to do, what do you expect from yourself? Do you expect yourself to show up every day like this is a real job? Do you expect yourself to be the kind of CEO that you want to be? I love the fact that I don't have to go to work every day, so that when I'm up every hour and a half at night with the baby, I'm not going, oh crap, I got to get up in 2 hours and go to work. Like, I got to put myself together. I give myself a little bit more grace to sleep until 7:30 or 8, get up, we start our day, and then I get my work in when I can get it in. And I can do as much or as little as I want. But you have to start thinking about what you expect from yourself, what you want from yourself out of this business. Do you want to be able to provide solely for yourself? I would love to be able to replace my husband's income, which right now is not possible, but get to that point where I can replace his income and give him the opportunity to do something different, to pay off my student loans, to pay off my credit cards, to put my girls in all kinds of gymnastics and whatever we want to do. I don't want money to have to be an option. But I also want to be the kind of person that shows up for other people. I want to be the kind of person that when someone shoots me a message and is pouring their heart out about the things that they're struggling with and what they need help with, I can say, you know, maybe I don't know exactly what you're going through, but I'm going to be here with you through the whole thing. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not signing you just to make money. I'm here for the long run. You got me until you don't want me anymore. That's the kind of person I want to be. So knowing that, that's what I expect for myself. I expect myself to show up for other people as much as I can. I'm not at their beck and call 24/7 because my family is first. But when I sit down to work, I show up for them as much as I show up for myself. But I expect more out of myself. I put more pressure on myself than probably anyone ever would. But I try to achieve to that. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thanks for getting on. I'm going to stop the record and then y'all can ask questions. Here we go.